Today I'm just reading a very interesting book, and definitely most of the time I used to read through Kindle and through there are different online apps are today's available. And a beautiful quote I read today, and I I couldn't stop myself to share that wonderful quote with all of you, because whenever I read something which is very interesting, which I personally feel to be very touched, I always love to share that with my viewers. And now YouTube is the part of my life, and I feel that uh, I'm sharing these things. Maybe it doesn't bother me that how many people are watching, how many views I'm getting. I love to share these things. I love to document these things because I find it important. I find it beautiful, and somewhere I find it useful. So today I read a quote that is, the issue is very simple, that their ceiling is actually your floor. And these lines touched me really direct, straight to my heart. And I found, yeah, these are so true. Sometimes we got attracted to some people, we got attracted to some of the things, not only people, some of the things around us. That's maybe materialistic things, or intangible, tangible or intangible, any kind of assets that could be. Sometimes we get attracted by those things just because we found it beautiful. We found it somehow different from others, because we normally used to consider, just a minute, it should be a little bit near to me. What I'm saying that is, sometimes we used to consider some of the materialistic things and some of the tangible, intangible things, including people, including everything around us, uh, valuable, because most of the time we decide to choose any of the object, or we decide to choose even any of the relationship or anything on the basis of the outer package, that's based on that in case of the relationship, that how that person used to talk, how that person used to behave, how that person used to carry herself or himself, and the way of their style, what they used to carry with themselves. So sometimes we got it by like this. And even if we choose some of the materialistic things, some of the assets, or some of the furniture, some of the electronic, we go by the look. First of all, we will look the design, we will go by the outer package. No, this is the main, this is the way we used to generally consider things to be the part of our life. But later, when we purchased it, when we bought it, or when we allowed that relationship to be entered in our life, to be the part of our life, and we are go along with that, whether it's in case of the relationship, whether it is in case of the furniture, whether it is in case of the any of the important item in our household, when we get along with that particular asset, then we actually understand its pros and cons. Then we actually understand whether it is useful for me or not, whether it is beneficial for me or not, or whether that particular asset added value to my life. I always consider things like that. Maybe I'm a little bit less emotional, I'm a little bit more practical. That's why I always used to consider any of the factor, whether it is relationship, whether it is the asset, whether it is anything. That whether that particular thing in which I am invested, whether it's my money or whether it's my emotion, whether it's my time, that particular asset is giving me, or that particular asset is giving me the return back at a right percentage or not. As maybe it's because I am a financial advisor, or I'm from the finance background, so I always used to consider everything on the basis of the percentage of return on investments, ROI, like this. Every time. In case of relationship also, even if I found that relationship is not working, that I'm invested more than what I'm getting, I immediately quitted from that. How much important or how much close that relationship, that doesn't matter. That makes no sense for me if I'm not getting that much of return from that. Even if I'm not getting that much of return from any of the asset or any of my furniture or anything around me, I immediately quit it. I immediately get rid of that. This is the style I'm carrying. So today when I read the quote, that sometimes the issue is as simple as it is that their ceiling is actually your floor. The same happens in our life also. Sometimes we get lost ourselves in confusing relationships, in confusing assets or any materialistic item. Like sometimes we bought a very good looking washing machine. Good looking means its model is very topmost branded model, color combination, and it's all the features, the way the salesman described it. We got influenced by his beautiful words and we bought that particular electronic item, washing machine or a TV or anything like that, mobile phone. After 6 months, when you used it, after 6 months, 8 months, you got to understand that it's the waste of your money. You just have wasted it. Because that doesn't give you that much of performance how much you have invested in that particular asset. Then what you have to do? You have only two options. Either you have to continue with that bad asset in your life or you have to get rid of it. So I always choose to be the second option. If I invested it by any reason, wrong analysis or wrong way, but after using that asset or after having an experiences, whether it is good or bad, doesn't matter. But if I understand that it is wrong for me, it doesn't suits my personality, it doesn't suits my lifestyle or my nature, I'll immediately quit from that. I never look back. This is my style. I never want to get back what I have quitted or what I have just क्या बोलते हैं मैंने जो दे दिया I never quit, I never get it back. That same way happens, but it's easy to say. Most of the time it's very difficult to follow. But I want to say to everyone that everything where you have invested, you definitely should analyze, you definitely should check out it, that whether that investment is good or bad for you. And one other point I want to discuss, that it's very easy to judge. Nowadays it's very, very easy to judge any person's personality, because most of the time we get lost with the human beings rather than these assets. It's very easy to sell your TV or just to gift someone your TV or your washing machine or your oven if it is not working for you. But it is not as simple to quit from any relationship or to say a tata goodbye forever for a relationship. Sometimes it's not difficult for me actually. I'm a very practical person, but most of the cases it's difficult for most of the people. It's very difficult. They couldn't do it. They are stretching it and stretching it and stretching it. So I just want to say, don't stretch. The quote is as simple. Their ceiling is actually your floor. Understand and create it. It's not too much difficult. And if you want to what I'll say, if you want to have a consolation, then you always have to remember that you will attract what you actually are. You will definitely stick with that particular aspect or that particular type of people around you, what they actually are, and they suits your personality. If their personality doesn't suits you, how much you try, how much you're putting effort, you can't be together. It's as simple as it is. Because the expectation what you have, that expectation is too much high for them. You have a clean floor, you want to have a clean floor, a hygienic floor in your home, and for some of the people, they expect that floor can't be as clean what you are expecting. Only the ceiling can be as clean what you are expecting, because that is above your head and you don't put your feet on the ceiling. The ceiling can be as much as clean, but you are expecting the floor. Oh my God, it's not possible. So that seems to be in the relationship. What you're expecting sometimes, that's beyond expectation of those. So if you go through the social media and check out that kind of person's profile, you will definitely find that they are surrounded by that kind of people who belongs from that kind of, what I'll say, the level or the standard. It shouldn't say like this, but it's true. Your level, you can't compromise your level, you can't compromise your standard, you can't compromise your intelligence, your thoughts beyond a limit. So it's better to understand that they can't match your level and you can't match their level. So when the levels and the standards can't be matched, it's better to quit as early as possible. And I want to give this piece of advice, not advice, as just a discussion with many of the girls, especially around me, whom I have just talked with those persons. They should definitely understand that जैसे बोलते हैं ना कि आकाश और ज़मीन का कभी मिलन नहीं हो सकता. The same way, the ceiling and the floor can be look like the same, but it can't be together. That the same way, the two different level, the two different type of personalities people, the two different standard of the people can't be together anywhere. So it's better to understand your own level. It's better to understand your own pattern of personality and quit it as early as possible. You can't be surrounded in the garbage, and there are few of the people, they can't get rid of the garbage. जैसे आप एक क्या बोलते हैं, बफेलो को अगर आप उठा के एक स्विमिंग पूल पर रख दे तो वो क्या रह सकता है? कैन दैट बफेलो सर्वाइव? उसे कीचड़ से भरा, वो गंदगी से भरा, वो क्या बोलते हैं, वो पॉन्ड ही अच्छा लगता है. आप उसे जितना भी साफ सुथरा स्विमिंग पूल में क्यों ना छोड़ दे, वो थोड़ी देर बाद वो कीचड़ में भरे हुए इस पूल में ही जाके वो वहीं पर रहेगा, वहीं पर उसे शांति मिलती है. बट आप क्या कर सकते हैं? आप क्या उस कीचड़ भरे वो उसमें जाके आप रह सकते हैं? यू कांट बी ना. सो you can't match. It's the reality of life. You can't match the standards. You can't match the level. Then how could you are expecting that relationship goes on? It's impossible. It's better that you should understand as early as possible and get rid of those toxic relationship and lead a happy life, because you can't lose your dignity, you can't lose your standard. Your standard, your personality reflects your lifestyle. It's impossible. Sometimes we bought a wrong phone, we bought a wrong AC or a fridge just by flourished by the look or by the package or by the salesman's sweet words. But after using for few days, you understand that this doesn't suits you. So it's better to sell it, or it's better to get rid of it, or give someone as free of cost. And then after analyzing and after understanding and after going through your experiences with that particular wrong item, what you have chosen, then you decide what you want to do. But get along with that wrong item throughout your life is the most stupid decision. The same happens in the relationships also. having experienced a toxic relationship, whether it is in friendship, whether it is in anywhere in your life, it's better to get rid of it and choose the right, because the world is so large. You definitely should have a right friend, a right group of people for you waiting there. So it's better. Do this and live a happy life. Take care of you. Love you all. Bye bye.